Okay. Can somebody raise their hand and tell me what kind of job would require, or not require, but that you might tip somebody in? Yeah.
Being a waiter,
Being a waiter, for sure. What is a tip, Riley?
it's a small amount of money given to you if your services or actions are good.
Okay, so it's a small amount of money given to a professional as a thank you for their services. Waiters are only one profession that you would give a tip to. Who else?
Bartenders.
Bartenders, yep. Yep.
In certain situations, we can.
Mechanics, sometimes. Yep.
Delivery people.
Delivery people. Like if somebody is dropping off a pizza or something like that. Usually not if they're dropping off your Amazon package. Also, like lawn care or housework. Anything like that. Standard is, minimum is usually 10%. High end is usually about 20%. Maybe higher if you are really, really impressed by them. I always tip people who come out to my house if they're like if there's an emergency. So let's say that there's like a plumbing emergency and I have like a pipe that burst and then somebody comes out on a Saturday to fix it. That would be a good opportunity to tip somebody, especially when people go over and beyond what their normal services would be. Has anyone in here ever worked as a waiter or a waitress? Okay. Did you get a significant amount less paid per hour? Because you were going to get tips?
Volunteer.
Oh, it was a volunteer kind of scenario? Okay. How about you? Yeah, so you made less than the minimum wage as your,
Well, no, I made minimum wage.
okay. So, what can happen is that they can actually even pay waiters and waitresses and bartenders less than minimum wage because they are usually getting tips from people. By the way, this is a purely like United States kind of thing. Has anybody ever gone overseas to a different country? Okay, often you don't tip there because they're paid at a normal rate and they don't need tips, or because sometimes the tip is automatically put into your bill in that sense. Yeah, if you are thinking about not tipping your waiter or waitress when they come to the table, really think about the fact that they are making a much lower hourly rate because they are expected to receive tips. Yep.
But like where I work, it's you like everyone splits tips. You don't just like get your own.
Yes, I've heard that sometimes too, and sometimes they'll even split it with kitchen staff, where it's not just the waiters and waitresses, but it really depends on the restaurant. A lot of restaurants do specifically have like this person gets these tips, this person gets these tips, this person gets these tips, etc. Okay. So we've talked about a fast way to be able to do tips in your head, and let's try doing some just straight math with a calculator. Hopefully percentages are fine for you. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about FICA and Social Security, Medicare. You guys already know what Social Security and Medicare and FICA is? Hands up if anybody knows what all three of those words are. Medicare, Social Security, and FICA. Okay. Would you believe that I've had students ask me before, you know how like students love doing that math teacher thing where they say to a math teacher, when am I gonna use this in real life? I've had kids ask me that about this class. I'm like, what are you talking about? A kid asked me about that when we were talking about mortgages once. When am I gonna use this in real life? And I'm like, what? Talking about mortgages. Okay, let's look at the tip worksheet. We are going to try number 7 together and number 15, 16, 17. Can you circle those for me? Also, please do not push ahead and be doing this on your own. You'll have plenty of time to do this in just a moment, and I want to make sure that the ones that I want to do that you're listening to me on. All right, starting with number 7. Stephen is a waiter. He earns $3.45 an hour plus 20% tips. Now, oh, sometimes salespeople also get tips based on what they sell. That's usually called a commission kind of thing. We'll talk about that too. One day he worked 7 hours and he served meals costing $407. What were his earnings? Anybody want to raise their hand and talk us through this? Come on, be brave. Go ahead, John.
You can, I think the easier way to do it would be you put 4, 5 times 7 in parentheses, and then 407 times 0.2 in parentheses with the division sign between them.
Okay, so 407 times 0.2. That'll tell us what his tips are, is what you're saying? Plus 345 times 7. You actually don't even need the parentheses because multiplication happens in your calculator before the other, but we can put it all in at once if you want to. Everybody try it in your calculator, please. I did it separately just to show you what the two things added up to be. Did you guys get $105.55? Okay, and then on the first one, so tips for that day, looks like they automatically get 20% tips. That's $81.40. And over here is $24.15. Why do you think that restaurants encourage tipping and want that to happen? What's the benefit to the restaurant?
Waiters putting on all the effort.
Right, waiters are putting in all their effort. They're really trying their best because they're trying to get good tips. And also, if you have a restaurant where you get tipped based on how much you sell, you might be encouraging people to buy more, right, with their meals and so on.